So we finally got some spoilers for chapter 364 of My Hero Academia, and it seems as if Bakugo is still alive by some weird ass mechanic, but it might make sense. Aside from that, it says here that the chapter begins with a flashback of the doctor, which is referring to Dr. Ujiko, explaining that the bullets Shigaraki stole from the Hasakai were made based on a person's quirk, and that it kinda confirms the quirk doomsday theory. He would then proceed with his researches to extract it. Now, this might be referring to what Dr. Ujiko actually says in the chapter, or it might be what he's interpreting from the translations. Now, if they're mentioning quirk doomsday theory in the actual chapter, this chapter might turn out to be a good one, because we might get some more information on this quirk doomsday theory. Now, the next leak we have here is that Off-One says that using rewind is his final play because his body will eventually disappear. But he's not bothered by this because the baton has already been passed on to Shigaraki. What he has to do is finish off as many heroes as possible. Now, the interesting thing about Off-One using the rewind quirk on his own body is that he's bringing himself back to the point before he lost his head, because you can clearly see that he got his face back, right? But this was before All Might killed him, which means that he at that point shouldn't have the rewind quirk, because you know that it brings your body back to a point before you got any damages or any change to your body completely, which is how Mirio was able to get his quirk back, because it brought him to a point where his body had the quirk. So the interesting thing about this is that this means that if he uses the rewind quirk to bring him back to the point before he lost his head, this would mean that he doesn't have the rewind quirk at that point in time. So Alpha 1 right now doesn't have the rewind quirk anymore, so that was his one use of the quirk. It's now gone. But of course, you know, Horikoshi could create another mechanic in which he keeps the quirk, I guess, but I mean logically, if Mirio got his quirk back because of what the quirk does to your body, then logically Off-One shouldn't have the rewind quirk anymore. Any quirk he got after losing his head to All Might. Now it also says that Tokiyami realizes right away that it has something to do with Eri, as we just spoke about. And Hawks notices that Alpha 1 is going down to where the other heroes are, so he follows him, but he's not fast enough. Alpha 1 has stolen the clothing of one of the heroes and the quirk of another one. Now this part is a little confusing because it isn't in order with anything, it's just there. It says that all of this was contained in a recording left along with his new mark, which Alpha 1 collected as soon as he left Tartarus. The next page shows him fully restored, saying Endeavor should feel proud he made him use this risky card. Then we skip to them saying that the president says that America is also in danger and that the Quirk Research Center said Shigaraki is invincible. So he imagines that a political conflict will now begin in which the leaders of the first world countries will fight over Tomura's trust. Now I could see this playing out this way, but basically what they're saying is that the leaders will try to gain the trust of Shigaraki to basically put him on their side, you know, to protect them basically, or just do shit for him so that he feels as if they're allies and not destroy their country, which I think makes sense. You know, if he's this all-powerful dude that's gonna threaten the entire world, they'll want to like secure the safety of their civilization, I suppose. But they could also team up against him, you know, that's also an option, which I think they might do instead, but you know, we'll see. Then it says that it cuts to Washington DC, and we see that General Agpar, I suppose, is talking to the president. He says that they need to take the opportunity to finish off Shigaraki. Outside there are protests and destruction, including a sign saying "We are all for one." This is crazy. So this is like equivalent to people saying like Thanos was right. So you have people saying "We are all for one." So you have a faction of society which agrees with what All for One is doing, and a faction who doesn't. And we also saw that back in like, you know, My Academia earlier on in Japan. So it makes sense that this is spread into, you know, other parts of the world as well. So then it says that the final double page spread shows Edshot's full face. He says that he will become the heart of Bakugo and prepare to use his supreme ninpu. End of chapter. So this is where we get into the Bakugo fiasco. So it shows here that we have like Genius trying to use his quirk to heal Bakugo's heart or create a new one for him. Now someone explained that it's possible based on the cotton aspect of his powers, and if he's able to break it down to a molecular level, he might be able, scientifically, he might be able to recreate Bakugo's heart. Maybe, you know, similar to how they can use a 3D printer to create like an ear or a heart or maybe something similar to that. You know, that's possible, I suppose. But I think it would make sense for him to like take some of Bakugo's DNA to do it, because you need to find something that's compatible with Bakugo. I don't think Genius can just like crunch his DNA or his quirk down to a molecular level and create a heart that will just work for Bakugo. It just doesn't make sense. But that's not what they actually said here. It said that Headshot will do it with his quirk. But the weird thing about Headshot is that his quirk is basically that he's able to like make himself flat to the point where he's able to pierce his opponents, right? So I don't know how he's gonna make himself flat and be a heart for Bakugo. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know how to explain it, but of course they have a plan. You know, they're gonna explain how it works. You know, just at this point in time, I don't see how Headshot can become a heart for Bakugo. It's just weird. But yeah, these are the spoilers so far. If you get any more information, I'll just create a new video, so you guys look out for that one, I guess. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section. If you like, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.